witchy stuff. But I'd assume I'm pretty good at that stuff.
Now, John says no. He shook his head.
Yeah, occult is like occult knowledge, not actually magic.
Yeah.
Hello,
But you
everybody.
have to actually like learn the spells or whatever. But hey, listen, if there's a fucking spell to do that, I want you to learn it. That's super awesome.
Oh, there's some weird magic in this game. Are you talking about animating the arm like I saw in chat?
I definitely want to learn some
and I
weird
want to get it
magic.
over with.
Oh, there's some
we,
weird ass like doing
Addams
research,
Family.
doing a bunch of research for like what I want to do. There's
I
some
want an arm friend.
fucking weird ass magic in Vampire. That
Yeah.
get into Mage. There's probably like 17 different spells that do that with varying different effects, but that's a whole different game. Hello everybody, welcome back.
The mage class?
No,
Or,
Mage the game that's in this in World of Darkness. Mage, it's one of those.
Can I do it?
We'll get to eventually if you hang on to the arm, maybe, but not
I
in your
do that?
current
Can I-
ability.
Can I just chill out with this arm?
I mean,
Because I
that's
heard that it's gonna go to Ash.
if you let it sit in the sun, it'll
Fuck no. This is my arm now.
it'll probably eventually ash. You never know. Anyway, hour 2. Welcome back, everybody.
I make it. Touch me.
awesome.
The 4 of you are now at the bottom, back in the kitchen near the door that's busted from Caligari. Now that you've kind of all gotten together and your senses about you, you can hear the outside. There's a bit of a commotion, and it seems pretty close to the building. You know, across the street's the club, you expect it, but there seems to be a few people just beyond the door. Words like, oh my god, things like, did you hear that? Don't worry, I called the cops. Like, you are well aware that the 2 gunshots that were fired off were very clearly heard, and from what it sounds like, there's probably cops on the way. You do know there's a back door to this building as well. What is the plan? Now the 4 of you are together and you can hear this commotion happening outside.
It's only outside the door that we're at, right? It's not outside all around.
Sounds like it's just outside the door where you're at, which leads to the street directly outside.
I'll say to them as because I like hold up the cell phone, like my cell phone, tap it, like I'll text you, and I'm gonna start walking away from them to another room so I can go like check things out.
Okay.
I'm just like, I walk away. So for me to turn, oh shit, I didn't open that book. I believe it is stealth plus.
Are you talking about obfuscating yourself?
Yeah, it's obfuscate, stealth, and I gotta open the PDF because I forgot.
While you do that, what are the other 3 planning on doing?
It's time to get out of here.
Front door, back door?
Back door.
Hey,
Okay.
Getting out of here.
3 of you
Ew.
together? Nika,
Wow.
you're muted. I don't know what you're saying.
I want to go through the front door. But then again, if we're all like leaving
intelligence.
via the same 2 cars, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
So
How
I
you guys
gotta
got
stick
here?
with them.
Probably smart. You know, if you walk out and all these mortals see you, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, I was gonna cast Nightmare and be like, blah, and get them all running, and then I just leave. Not the greatest idea, but it's something I want to do. I'm gonna go with Jimmy.
Okay, all right.
So I'm with Jimmy now.
And Emmy, you sticking with Jimmy?
Yeah, I think she'll probably follow Jimmy and go that route.
Okay. And
Yeah,
then Scott
maybe.
succeeds in casting Obfuscate on himself. So he
I'd like
is...
to do sneaking
Yes.
as well.
So I'm going to have you all make that. Don't worry. So you guys go out the back door and immediately outside. It's a typical, like, city backyard. It's very small. There's not a lot of area. But there's nobody back here, which is the important part. There are buildings surrounding you, but a quick glance says there's nobody in the windows that you can see. You know where your car is, and making your way that way through the back road, staying out of eyesight, is going to be relatively easy. However, you are all going to need to make a couple of stealth checks, dexterity plus stealth checks, to make sure that you are not seen by any of the very packed streets or any buildings passing by until you're basically far enough away where you have plausible deniability, saying, I'm nowhere near this building, what are you talking about, to any of the civilians that may or may not see you.
Can I use my shadowing specialty for this?
Shadowing specialty specifically means you're shadowing other people, correct?
Yeah,
Without
I'm
being
gonna
noticed?
shadow Jimmy.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, why not? I'll let you go for it. I'll let you throw an extra die while you are trying to shadow Jimmy. However, it means that Jimmy and Emmy are likely not going to see you because you don't want shadowing
Great.
means.
I don't think they care.
Yes.
So Dex and stealth.
Yep, Dex plus stealth for just a stealth check.
Jimmy
So-
did it.
Jimmy did it,
So
surprisingly.
proud of Jimmy.
All right. And so what do I get for that? For the
Let me get
special
one.
thing? I get a +1
You get a
modifier?
+1 modifier, yep.
All right, modifier 1. Give me that sweet. Nope, that's why I did it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the
'Cause I
three of
needed a
you
1.
continue on, hopping fences and staying kind of like taking these weird, non-direct paths around other buildings and whatnot, hitting other streets. Very long way back to the car, but you don't seem to have been noticed, at least immediately. I'm going to have you all make one more check to get away. And Scott, what's your plan? Are you planning on just basically back door and then directly there because you're obfuscated?
Well, my original plan was to sneak out there, give them a heads up as to which way to go because it's safer. But my character he's not that talkative.
Yeah.
So he wasn't explicit enough with that. So they all kind of just like ran like rats with the lights turned on. So,
Fuck off with the rats thing, dude.
Rude.
it's kind of like the theme. It's kind of, we're vampires with rats. Fine, like wolves with yeah. So, my plan was to go out the other door, the one that they weren't near, literally just walk out the door and look around and see what was what.
Caligari, you forgot to add a +1 on that
Okay,
stealth
so
roll.
I still get 1 out
Yep,
of that?
you can still do another one. And Jimmy, we're missing a second roll from you, sir.
So should I roll again, is what you're saying?
You can roll all together all over again.
Jimmy did it.
Jimmy did do it. Congrats, Jimmy.
1. Blammo. See?
There you go,
I
perfect.
need-
So the three of
need that
you,
one.
through bizarre routes and really trying to, Jimmy's pretty smart. He's been in these streets before. He's been around here before. Emmy maybe not, but Emmy is small and quiet. So Jimmy's kind of leading the way. Emmy by her side, relatively obscure paths, while Caligari keeps a very clear eye on them and is able to skulk in the shadows and hide behind things and really not be noticed by anyone, including Jimmy or Emmy. Eventually, the four of you, because Scott just takes a direct path at this point. He walks out the back door. He can't be seen. He's good. Eventually, the four of you, Scott, you get to the cars first, well before they do. You wait about 20 minutes before the three of them show up. Or at least two of them show up, and then after a few
What
more...
do I see out there for like cops or whatever that are?
Oh, so you go out the back door and run around out to the front. There's a big group of like 15 to 20 people outside the building you were in.
Yep.
No cops yet. Nobody
thank
around.
God. Cool.
And as you start walking down the street, you can see lights of two cop cars heading down that way.
When I see those people surrounded by the building, I'm intentionally going to look at them to see if any of them give me that like prickly back of the neck, prowly cat thing.
None of them do.
Okay, cool. That's good news. In which case I am going to go to my truck and I'm just going to sit there and wait in my truck.
So you get to your truck, like I said, good 20 minutes before they do because of the route they ended up taking. Eventually you see Jimmy and Emmy, and then Caligari, if she wishes to show herself, eventually does pop out from behind a car and kind of walks over. Four of you are together, back where you parked your car.
Rules question. I wouldn't still be obfuscated, would I? Because that's 20 minutes is a long time.
I don't know what the time limit on obfuscate is, but you can willfully end it. So
I mean, I assume it's over anyways, but yeah, I would just be sitting in my car visible, just hand outside, it started, music playing.
Yep. I'll look up for a time limit, but you willfully end it even if it didn't, and you're good to go. The four of you are together. You've got the car started. What is your plan from this point on?
I mean, I want to get to somewhere safe so I can hack into this phone, assuming I can.
Do the four of you
I
decide
think
on
our
where to
goal is
go?
to get information, so yeah, we can.
So you just
Yeah,
want to
honestly-
drive elsewhere, just away, a parking lot to a 7-Eleven or something?
Legit, exactly that. We go 6 blocks away, random
Can I
direction.
use arm to find the code with
Can you
my
use what?
spirit touch?
Ooh,
Interesting.
Maggie.
Interesting decision.
Oh, you can out hack with that shit. Ooh, I like it.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't know how it works if I could do that. But
I'm
I
gonna
was
look-
like,
what does it say?
what can I do? I'm looking through my abilities. I was like, I feel useless.
Spirit
No, that's
touch.
amazing.
Psychic impressions typically come in the form of quick and cryptic images, and as with other Auspex powers, learning how to decipher the information gleaned can be a task all on its own. Success yields a sense of the previous handler or owner's identity, as well as a reliable vision or sense of the memory in question. And then exceptional success, the reading character wins the contested blah, blah, blah. instantaneous glimpse of the event or situation in question. So exceptional success will give you very specific information that you're looking for. A success will give you kind of like flashes and images of its history, but nothing specific. And
That's still useful.
And then if you fail, dramatic failure, the utter opposite information that you're looking for, more or less.
Well, I mean, he himself knows the dude that we're looking for too. So whether I give information on where that dude is or the code to unlock the phone or whatever it may be, I think. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll do it on the hand and then I'll do it on the phone.
Give it a
Right?
shot?
'Cause I could
Yeah.
do two different things.
Yeah, you could give it a shot.
Okay. Whenever we get back to the building, then she'll probably do something like that. I was just wondering if that's
Sure.
a possibility, if I could do that with the arm. I know I could do it with the phone, but I didn't know if I could do it with the arm.
I don't see any rules that say you can't because it says an object and the arm is no longer attached to a vampire and it is in fact just an arm, a corpse's arm. I may put on like a penalty because it's kind of freshly detached, but we'll see. The four of you end up driving good chunk of blocks to like a 7-Eleven parking lot that is relatively abandoned, or people just kind of coming and going. Not weird for a couple cars basically to be parked. Makes sense for the area. You guys get there. And what do you do? So does Varys immediately start hacking, or does Amelia say, hold on a second, let me see this
So
phone?
I'll pull the thing out and I'm gonna kind of fiddle with it in my hand for a minute, just kind of like thinking. I'm gonna like breathe on it, see if there's any thumbprints on there that sit on a specific spot. Like I'm trying to get any hints that I can first before I start trying to hack into it. Because it's what? Gonna be 6 digits, and you fuck up 10 times, it could erase the phone.
Correct.
Actually, I don't think iPhone 6s did that.
I see
think
him
it's
like
just, like-
struggling with the phone, and I'm like,
Wait, Varys, before you put that in there, can I see it for a moment? You know, I'm gonna
Oh.
do the thing.
Yeah, and I'll hand it to you. And as I hand it to you for you doing that, this is what I'm going to notice, like through the rearview mirror, that Caligari in on the flatbed of the truck has the arm with her still. That's I'm going to do like a full-fledged, like, what the fuck? And like look and see that she still
I
has
make
it.
it wave hi to you.
Oh, Lord.
I'm like, what are you doing with that still?
You know what? It's actually probably good that she keeps it because maybe we can use it.
Oh, if she still has that, can he not grow another one back?
I don't know.
You know what? If she still has it and it doesn't turn to dust, maybe he can't grow a new one.
Jimmy, are you with
I don't
us?
know.
I'm gonna look at Jimmy because
Well, you're the arm removal expert.
Do I have an arm?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm like looking around my house, like, do I have an arm?
I have a
You
skeleton
never know,
bone
I
arm.
have weird things. No, I guess not.
You
Oh,
try.
god damn it. I'm 2 for 2 on good props. I have gloves somewhere. I could find it.
So I guess I'll hack into the phone first. Well, or like touch the phone
Okay.
and see if I see any memories.
Make
So it's
a,
wits, occults, and auspex.
Yep, wits and cults and auspex, correct.
So wits, occults, and auspex.
And
You
you're
know, I
looking.
have a lot. Because I have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have plus 10 to this.
What? Really?
This
Wow.
doesn't go through. I'm going to be real sad. All right, here we go. 1.
One.
Hey,
What?
hey, a
How
success
can
is a
I
success.
have that much and get a 1?
Maggie, I was rolling attack rolls at 11 and getting like no successes.
Oh, it's insane. This is like freaking Shadowrun.
So
Remember though, one success is still a success.
it is a
Oh,
success.
yeah, yeah.
Like
So-
one, unless aside from sorry, Mathis, aside from
gonna be
combat,
cryptic.
1 through 4 is the same amount of success. With combat, that's more damage or whatever.
Correct.
5 is critical success.
So you
Fine.
have
Very
the
few
bright.
So I have the phone in my hand, and
Yeah.
Emmy like puts her hand over it and is holding on to it, and she's holding it close to her, and she closes her eyes.
Sure. So you're sitting in the front seat, like you said, you got it. The bright neon glow of the 7-Eleven sign, slightly flickering, cool air, but kind of got that city stink mixed into it. Kind of flows through the truck as you fall into yourself, and all those things kind of disappear from your perspective. You can't feel it, you can't smell it, you can't see it. Your mind is immediately flooded with flickering images of him, this vampire holding the phone and checking it, and you can see him putting in a code. You just don't know what those numbers are. It's just not clear. The image shifts left and right. You're kind of watching, but you just can't make it out. You see him talking, but the voices are muffled and it's barely recognizable as his own voice, but he's definitely having a conversation. Text messages are sent, but the words don't make any sense. The words are in a weird order. There's no sentence you can make out. Sometimes the words aren't actually words. They're just kind of letters in random order. You can see him using it. You know this is his phone, but you just can't get the password.
And so she's just reacting and like trying really hard, and you can tell she's really focusing. And then she stops and she's like,
I think I need a break.
Did you get anything?
Maybe I'll try again. I think this is too much excitement for me tonight.
Yeah. Do you want me to pop in there and get you a slushie real quick?
Oh, that would be nice.
All right, let me get that, and then I'll get started on this. I leave the car running, and I'll pop out, and I'll go out and I'll buy a slushie for her. I got disposable income. You know, actually, before I go in, I kind of lean back out the front door, and I'm like, you like the red one or the blue one?
Can you get me both?
Like swirl?
Yeah.
Purple coming up. I
All
go
the
in and-
while, you see, as you like peek in and say that, you do see Caligari in the background making like puppet hands with it. She's very, very entertained by this one little hand. Jimmy, you're in your own car. You see stuff happening, and then you see Varys get out of his car and head in, looking like he's gonna go purchase something. Are you just gonna sit and wait, or do you want to just kind of do anything you want to do?
No, I think Jimmy's content to just wait for the other people to do their thing.
Sure. Scott, you head in, and this place is kind of dirty. The floor has got that, like, you know, it's tile floor, but it's got that, like, layer of crust over it of something that hasn't been mopped in a good long time. People that have a questionable intent wandering the looking at snacks and grabbing, of course, you know, that cooler that has, like, Budweiser and cheap beer in the back that a lot of quick marts do. But you're not terribly afraid, and you go and get yourself a Slurpee, and the guy could give two craps about you. He's just kind of doing his late night job. Sends you out. Anything else you wanted to do in here, or are you just getting the Slurpee?
Well, one of the things I noticed is that it says Slurpee, and I said slushy, and I was like, oh.
So, whatever, slushy, same thing.
No,
Whatever.
no. No, it says Slurpee.
Sure.
I said slushy earlier, and I was like, oh, shit. Because I said the wrong thing, and she was nice enough not to correct me. So she's a nice kid. So I go over, I grab that, and as I'm standing at the counter, like contemplating things.
The guy is just like
eventually-
schlubbed over. He's just kind of like, is that all?
When he asks, is that all? That's kind of like one of those impulse moments. It's like a moment of humanity, an impulse moment where I grab a Reese's and I throw that on the counter too. Because, you know.
He just reaches over very lazily and just kind of, boop, runs it through. Do you want a bag?
No. It's two things, man. It's a drink and a, no.
$3.59. You
I
pay him.
yeah.
The dude never makes eye contact with you, and you're on your way. No problem.
Yep.
While-
I hop back in my truck.
While he's in there, Emmy, are you doing anything else? Or are you just going to wait for him to come back?
I guess while he's in there and Caligari's like doing stuff with the arm, she's probably making her laugh. So Emmy's like laughing and she's just like enjoying the little puppet show. And she's like,
Oh my goodness, I just thought of something. Maybe I could use the hand and see if I can. Maybe he has memories.
I shove it through, you know, like in the back of a pickup truck, how they have like that one sliding window? I shove the hand through that window.
Thanks.
she grabs the arm, and the arm's like bigger than her.
It's pretty big.
And she like holds it, and you just see this like little girl holding an arm like this, and she's like closing her eyes.
Okay, make your roll.
And we'll try this again. I can't believe I have such like. Oh, did you want to give me a negative? Because you said there's.
No, I actually did a contested roll, so it's fine. Do
Okay.
your thing.
So that's a 3
The
success.
hand has its own roll.
Because so technically, if it belonged to somebody, object or not, they get like a contested roll on it, but it's not a big
okay.
deal. Again, more flashes. This time, less of the phone and more of just the hand and what it's done, messing with a pistol. No, not that kind of, not that kind of
everyone
thing.
went there in chat, and I was like, no.
No, he's a vampire. That would require him to burn Vitae, and that's just not. It's a bad use of Vitae. But you get really no useful information out of it. Just him fiddling with his pistol, him sitting down in the chair, fiddling with his phone, but again, no clear image of the phone itself. It just nothing that bears any usefulness out of it. And it looks like that guy has spent a lot of time in that abandoned building.
With the 3?
With the 3.
What is an exceptional success?
5+.
Damn.
And it gives you exact details of whatever memory you're looking for.
Okay. I have a chance of getting that because
My arm goes back through the window, and I'm pawing around. I want my arm back.
Yeah, she opens her eyes and she hands you back the arm.
No go.
Okay.
He spent a lot of time in that building, though. I wonder if we could go back there. Maybe if I was in the building. Maybe
No, we
would
can't.
get more memories.
It wouldn't be a good idea to go back there. Listen, did you get any idea, like thumb motions? Was it? Do you know if you started at the bottom left, top right, anything like that? Anything whatsoever?
Yeah, do I get any of that information at
No,
all?
it's too much of a blur.
Okay.
Everything's so blurry. Like, he's doing stuff on the phone. He's messaging, but I just can't make it out. I'm sorry, Varys.
No, that's cool. I'll start it. You're not allergic to peanut butter, are you? Like, you're not allergic to peanuts? No? All right, good. And then they like come into that realization. Then I open the packet and take a bite out of the Reese's, like, and I start trying
Did
to
you hand her
unlock the phone.
the slushy or whatever?
Oh yeah, gave her to her. When I first
Okay.
got in the truck, it was one of those like before I actually hopped up, I handed it across.
Okay, she's totally like making annoying noises with the slushy, like.
So I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna start trying to open this up. Whether or not I succeed, after the first thing, I'm gonna look and see if it has that like 10 try limit before it auto erases everything, or if it's one of those infotry things.
All right, give me a. I need you to throw me an intelligence plus computers check to try and break into this thing.
And my second specialization is hacking.
So throw in a +1 on that.
Yes, it is. Let's get rid of obfuscates. It's intelligence plus computers. Sheet roll, normal, and 1. Okay. Bam.
You tried. So you're sitting there for a good minute. You're trying,
Nope.
trying,
Z. Nope.
and no matter how hard you try, it doesn't seem to be cracking. However, you don't perma-lock yourself out. Give yourself another go.
Okay.
Which is
cool.
it's more time essentially. You're spending time.
Yeah. I spent a decent amount of time there.
Also, remind me, John. I don't know. I feel like I have a memory. I don't know if it's from this set or not. If vampires eat human food, in order to not vomit it up later, they have to burn a vitae to keep it down. Correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, but a Reese's is by no stretch of the imagination food. I mean, it is
Whatever you say.
It is pure fucking garbage that just tastes like heaven.
Cool. So I'll keep that in mind. Do you or Emmy burn a vitae to keep the food down?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I totally will.
Emmy?
It is worth it. It's a Reese's.
Wait, I have to spend a.
Yeah, so you drink this Slurpee, but in order to not vomit it up, because your organs don't work, you have to burn a vitae to make them work, basically.
We're feigning
Oh.
humanity at the moment, and that costs us.
I have a shit ton of vitae.
So you burn one,
Okay,
and you keep it
The
down.
hand comes back through, and just the hand, like palm up, ready if you guys like want to give me some of that shit.
Oh yeah,
Give me a Reese's.
Varys is like super intrigued with the phone, and he's like
that
really
Reese's.
busy the whole time.
that
Like Caligari's like making shadow puppets, and Emmy's giggling while she's drinking, and then she nods at her and like hands her like a huge clump and like puts it in the hand, and some of them is falling off the hand. Pretty gross.
Okay.
I imagine
I
Jimmy's
totally
in his
didn't
car,
notice the
like,
hands, but
fucking
Slurpee
annoyed.
just fucking fell in the truck. I'm just like, oh, what the? Emmy, could you
I am
please
friends
not
with
get a
Emmy
mess
now.
in the truck? I'd appreciate that.
No,
It's really
listen
like a lot of like
the
car wash
Reese's.
places are closed. Oh, Reese's.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Do
thought
you
you
like-
meant Slurpee. I think it was like,
No, the Reese's.
okay, cool. Reese's.
So you eat
I'm
it,
sorry,
and
take
you
it
drink
back.
the Slurpee, and like for a minute, it's like, oh, food. I forgot what this tastes like. But the minute you swallow
sorry,
it,
man.
an immediate reaction hits you, and you burn a vitae, reminding you that no matter how much you act human, how much you wish you were human, you are just not human.
Also, could
Talking to
I
me?
heighten my
no,
sense?
well, if you
my-
eat it, yes.
I do, but I have iron stomach.
That might work.
Ooh.
That might
Yeah,
work.
I have iron stomach in 2, so like I can eat anything.
So you eat it,
She's like a trash panda.
and while it may not fill you the way it used to when you were a human, you don't.
I'm just fucking about, yeah.
You
I'm
don't
just,
retch. You don't retch. It doesn't make you vomit like the other two. It might.
Okay.
So
Can I use heightened senses while I'm eating?
you are absolutely allowed to use heightened senses whenever you want.
Oh, I don't know if you
Oh
want
my
to do
gosh.
that.
Always. Emmy will always use it before she eats.
Okay, so you're just gonna
man.
heighten like your taste buds and stuff and
Yeah.
make it. Okay, absolutely. Again,
For-
that same feeling of like all your other senses end up getting a little dulled in the process, but all of a sudden the Slurpee and the Reese's is actually the taste is richer than anything you've ever experienced as a human. It just tastes amazing. You can pick apart the flavor syrup in the Slurpee and the granular ice that's shaved up. You can feel it more than anything you've ever had before. It's good stuff.
Making everyone hungry now. I mean, I'm gonna look at Varys while he's like doing his thing.
Thank
Varys,
you,
give me
Ken.
another roll.
So good.
Yeah, I'm going to give another roll. I remember reading a book a long while ago. I think it was about vampires. And the whole idea was like when your senses get super heightened, you actually you find processed food disgusting because like you can taste, like you said, all the different chemicals instead of tasting the conjoined flavor.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like the whole idea is like
So
once you
much
eat like American
sugar.
cuisine, you're like, never again. Nope. Nope. All right. So anyways, I'm
maybe
going to
make
make a roll.
Your nose, your smell then.
But this time, like I'm gonna sit there and I know the importance of this, but at the same time, I'm so aggravated that I have to do it. And so I like sit there for a second before I start again, and I'm like really rattling my brain, like, how the fuck am I gonna open this? And I'm kind of like looking at Emmy, and I like look back at the hand for a second, and I'm looking at the phone, and all of a sudden like something clicks. And I'm gonna spend a willpower, and
Okay.
I'm really gonna make this roll happen.
All right, good luck.
Do you get
So-
willpower back?
Yes. When your virtue, so your virtue can make your willpower come back, and your vice can make your willpower come back. Virtue makes one come back. Vice makes all of it come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it comes back daily. I think it's
How
by
does
playing
virtue and
vice.
vice stuff work then?
Roll
It's
play.
when you role play to your virtue and your vice, and it negatively impacts like your character or your party or whatever it is because you played your character so well to a detriment of you or whatever to forward the story. So just like in D&D, technically, when somebody like role plays their flaw, like Addo's, I always hold on to a grudge. That's when you get inspiration, not just every session. You're supposed to get it when you role play your flaw. All right, so I'm sorry. Doing that, but this time it's going to be with a plus 4, 1 for specialty and 3 for willpower, and rolling again.
Oh, they're saying it's the other way around. Vice makes one come back. Virtue makes all of them come back.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's the other way around. Okay,
So
same premise.
you get a success. That's all you need. You crack into this thing. You can, with that success, it takes you a while still. You spent a good few minutes the first time around, wasn't able to. Spent a good few minutes this time around. We'll say, all in all, you've been in this park a lot, including the shopping time, a good 10 or 15 minutes in this car. Again, not enough to be suspicious, but definitely wearing your time a little bit thin. You're able to break into this and basically clone the phone for the past 30 to 45 minutes of its activity prior to it was being shut off. You can get its call history, you can look at text messages, and you see all text messages and all calls and all contacts in this phone are going to one person. His contact list has one person in it. It's a man by the name of Dave. Single
Okay.
name. Get it? You get the phone number of Dave, obviously.
Yeah.
And
What's the area code? Is it around here?
yes, it is within Chicago.
I mean, it's one of those things where it could legitimately be one person, which is totally possible because vampires are weird. Or it could be this is like a phone number that everything bounces off of to a whole network, and this is like just the point of access. So I'm gonna start skimming through the last like 3 or 4 dozen texts just to see if there's anything
Sure.
interesting.
Absolutely. A little bit of time passes as you go through it. I'm assuming the other 3 are just kind of waiting around to see what he breaks into. And you can see this mention of it and him, it being moved around, him being moved around. And from what you can gather, if this particular it and him is referring to the ghoul Alex, who you've been looking for, he has been shipped off to a group of people that is going to be in. Let me get the name of the park that I'm looking for. It's going to be in the map tab.
Oh, good parks, Jimmy, your forte.
Sorry,
It's like your living room.
Where is it? Franklin Park.
Franklin Park, cool.
I don't know if that's an actual park, but I thought it was a park because it says Franklin Park. But who knows?
So I turned to Emmy and I'm like, I unlocked it. Looks like we might be going to Franklin Park. I'll actually look out my window and look right at like towards Jim and be like, yo, it looks like Franklin Park. And then I turn back to
Do
Emmy.
you think they have swings?
Yes.
Hold on. And I completely stop what I'm doing and I open up a tab for a Google search and I just start checking Franklin Park to see if they have swings.
Yes, they have swings.
Yeah, they have swings. We can check that out.
Is notably
I love
excited about
swings.
this.
Yay, swings!
Yeah, we'll definitely check that out. But I was wondering, since I opened it and we can look at the texts, can you look better at it? Like, can you get more from it because it's unlocked, or should I just like keep reading back?
I don't know. I could try.
She takes the phone and she tries again.
Do I know what the password was? It wasn't like a lucky guess, right? Like I remember
You cracked
what
into
was.
it. You're good.
Okay, I'm gonna text myself that number,
Yep.
or like notepad it or whatever on my phone, that number.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Absolutely.
while
welcome
she's
to.
doing that, I turn over to Jimmy and I'm just like, what do you know, Franklin Park? But go ahead.
Probably way faster than, well, this time of night we could probably drive there.
All right.
Are you make that roll, Emmy? Feel free.
Would two cars be weird heading there, or should we all get together?
Modifiers or no?
Nope,
It's
just as it is.
Chicago.
Okay.
2 cars going
That's
anywhere is not weird.
No more. Basically, no more information than you've already got.
I'll follow you then. All right.
Emmy.
All right. So while we're driving, Emmy's like trying to figure out, get more information out of it. And like halfway through the drive there, she's just like,
No, I'm not getting anything else.
So the drive itself is off
That's
to,
all right. Thanks.
to the west of where you are.
Thanks
Good,
for trying.
good 45 minutes. You pop on the highway, I think I-90 or whatever it is that is nearby. The highway lights blurring by you. Nothing out of the ordinary happens. Roads are relatively busy, but not so much where there's traffic, and you don't get there any later than you would have if there had been traffic, basically. When you do get there, Franklin Park is pretty freaking big. Now, you don't know where in Franklin Park that this guy is supposed to be. Franklin Park is rather large, though, and as you kind of drive into Franklin Park and trees start to overtake and replace the lights, and there's only a few lights every few feet instead, you do notice that this is, for this time of night, there's a good chunk of just kind of groups of people wandering this way or groups of people wandering that way, even though the park should be closed. The gates were open. There is not normally public parks are closed at this point, but the gates are open and there are people wandering here and there. And it's likely because the cops don't give enough of a shit to patrol this area. And if they did, they'd end up getting more of a problem than they want to
Go.
deal. Yeah, more or less. Exactly. Yeah, sure. Pokemon Go wise. And you head in. You drive around for a while before you find a nice little parking lot, essentially, where you can park all of your cars. There's a few of them, but you find a relatively empty one.
I park specifically like 7 or 8 spots away from Jimmy because I'm following him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like parked right next to him.
Cool.
Good.
Sure. You all kind of pop out and out of the car and wander around. I'm assuming getting together, grouping together. Now, is your plan here to just kind of walk the park and look for areas, or do you have a very specific plan you want to head into that area?
I'm actually going to hand the phone to Jimmy and have him read through the text messages and see if he can get any form of insight from it. So I unlocked the phone. I'm like, hey, listen, I got in. Let's see if you can figure anything else from what they're talking about
Basically, let him, instead of like scrolling through quickly, let him kind of go through details.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he knows parks better than I do. He knows he knows a city better than I do.
Sure.
That's fair. Could I roll investigation? Does that make sense?
Yeah, go for it. Give me an investigation plus what? Wits? Makes
I
sense?
should have investigation.
Let me pop this up.
Wits plus investigation. Sheet roll.
I have really good wits too.
Give it a shot.
Sure. You are actually going through this phone, and unlike where Varys went through it quickly over the course of like 2 or 3 minutes, you're taking your time. This is like a good 10 minutes of you going through every single text, looking for keywords, looking for something that might click and make sense for you. Eventually, you do come across one very specific reference. They're gonna bring him to Frankie's. Now that doesn't necessarily make much sense, because Frankie doesn't really click. You don't know Frankie, but the more you think about it, the more you realize there is really, really close to the park a church by the name of St. Francis. And if anybody wanted to be a little bit more seedy about where they're bringing either a person or whatever, calling St. Francis Frankie's might be a good way to go about it.
Uh-huh.
Fuck.
Okay, so I got a hunch.
Hmm?
My
What's
hunch
up?
is we go to this church.
Fuck. I haven't done confessional in fucking months. God damn it. We don't have to talk to a priest or nothing, do we?
I don't know.
Is it okay for us to
Yep.
do stuff in churches? I don't know how that all works.
Yep.
I haven't been to a church. I want to make friends with a church mouse. I've heard that they're quiet.
I like it.
So she does not care about whatever's going on, obviously. But are we at the church? Or are we going to it?
Going
Going
to
to.
it.
Yeah.
Great. You let me know when that's happening, because I'm going to make some pals.
Hey, Jimmy, should we
Yeah.
walk there or?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, walk there? All right. I'll
We're
grab my
walk-
sword and I'm going to obfuscate it as I put it on my back.
Okay.
While we're walking, Emmy will be like,
I think I get a -2.
I used to go to
Just
church
like-
with my grandpa. Every Sunday we went. He used to give me all these like really cute dresses too.
Yeah?
Doesn't sound nice.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Oh, the
Well,
rest-
is she wearing nice clothes right now?
I mean, she's just wearing like a normal dress, I think.
So I look around really quickly. Are there any shops nearby?
Not within immediate sight, no. You'd have to go, like the church, you haven't even seen the church yet.
Yeah.
You're still in the park. But you can't
It's
really
also
see
late.
anything outside of the, yeah, it's also late. But you don't see any shops.
So I look around real quickly, and then I look at Emmy, kind of like disappointed. I'm like, sweetheart, I don't think any shops are open right now. I don't think we can get you anything. Is that okay?
Oh, it's fine.
All right.
I just remember. You know.
I'm gonna make that roll with my -3 because the sword is a -3.
Okay. You still obfuscate it nicely.
I ask where her grandpa is. Where's your grandpa? Where's your gramps?
I don't think he's alive anymore.
Neither are you.
That's
She just walks away at that.
Uncomfortable.
Callie's just like.
Now Emmy's like kind of sad, and she's just walking.
When she says that and then like walks away, I'm like, I turn white. Actually, I usually look human. I usually actually have color to myself. So my face does get a little flush for a second. I kind of like stagger for a moment before I keep walking and just try to like work it off.
It's
So-
not. It wasn't intended on being that way. She just really doesn't get it.
I fucking, honest to God, loved that one line. That was awesome. I loved it.
Beautiful.
No,
So
great.
the four of you are walking through this park, and the walk, Jimmy, as far as you know, is probably going to be a good 10-minute walk. But keeping your cars back in your head, you're like, that's probably safer. You get harassed here and there. Drunk homeless guy. A couple of groups start kind of shouting weirdly, but they're from a.
homeless guy.
Oh God.
That's true.
She's like, that's just my type.
I know, really, it is.
No,
Callie,
seriously.
we're in a hurry. Let's go.
But kind of bugs you for money. Can you give me? Do you guys mostly ignore the people who bother you along the way? He swears, flips you off on the way out. No one fucking has any kindness anymore. The fucking heading off and blah blah. He stumbles away. Said a group of people here and there wandering, but you're getting close to the church. And one thing you do notice as you're walking through the park is this air smells so much better amongst the trees than it was back over at the club where there was cigarette smoke and alcohol and all kinds of stuff that would make the smell a little bit more worse. Except for Caligari, this clean air is really weird. You're very used to and probably enjoy to a degree the smell of dumpsters and sewers. It's where you live. It's your home.
I tuck my hand like anytime I need like a breath of fresh air. I just like kind of sniff my own pits or like the hand, just to make sure that I have like a little bit of that stink around me, so I feel at home.
Of course. Oh, so are you actually carrying the arm around with
Yeah,
you
the
still?
arm's still with me. It's
All
still
right.
like chilling out. We're not doing shadow puppets right now, but it's around my neck. So like hand here, elbow, other
Sure.
part. Is it dripping? Is that gross?
Oh, it's dripping. Of course, it still bleeds.
Can
Okay.
I?
consistently is it bleeding? Is it like bled out yet?
I mean,
'Cause
it's
did
bled
take-
out a lot, so it's not
Okay,
bleeding
but
too
it's
much.
still a little gooey. Okay, I figure at some point it's gotta like dry up and coagulate. Okay, thank you.
Can I obfuscate something on someone else's possession?
I think it has
or
to
is
stay
that-
on-
Want
and
to obfuscate my friend.
It has to stay on your possession until the later power, the bigger power that's like
Yeah,
5
yeah,
dots.
yeah. Oh, okay.
What better way is there to scare off drunk people who are trying to harass you than a woman who looks like Caligari with a fucking arm around her?
I'm just-
guessing this happens to me a lot. So when I'm walking around, everyone's just like, "It's not Halloween,"
Yeah.
and so I think she's gonna get at least like 3 of those calls. Like that is pretty much her like mantra of people screaming at her like they're uncomfortable and they're like, "It's not Halloween."
I was totally gonna
So-
say if somebody says something, I was gonna be like, it's a Halloween prop. Halloween prop.
Not-
Sounds so
Not
funny.
Halloween, weird girl.
And Emmy will just quiet them with her commands and be like, "You saw nothing."
All right.
I wanted to do the nightmare on a couple of those people, but I'm just like, it's not worth it. Let's
These are not the limbs you're looking for.
So as you get closer and closer to the church, and you can actually see the church in a distant view, and it looks like a relatively older church. It's kind of like a stone church, maybe a couple of floors of the bell tower. Very cliche-looking old church, kind of out in the middle of nowhere that stays relatively close to the park and isn't going to have too many buildings around it. The people that were around you are no longer there. The people who are drinking or the people shouting off, groups of teenagers, the troublemakers don't seem to be there. I would like you all to please make me a perception check, which is, what is it, wits plus composure, I believe, for a perception check.
Wits plus composure.
However, can I, I know in Masquerade you can up the difficulty, but I don't know if I can up the difficulty in Requiem. I think it's just a set
You can give us
difficulty.
negatives, right?
Yeah, I can give you penalties.
Yeah.
Everybody take a -2 except for
Yeah.
Jimmy. Except for Jimmy.
Why Jimmy?
Reasons?
What?
I got 0 successes.
I am very witty and very composery.
Give
And
me
now I'm not
reasons.
going to be because you're.
It makes sense that Nika would pick it up too. All right. So
Wait, that's really weird. I put a -2, didn't I?
yeah, you did, and you still rolled
This is the
exceptionally
most
well.
successful roll I've ever had.
You rolled really, really
Just
well.
rise
rolled
into the
all of
challenge.
them.
Rise into the challenge, Nika.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So-
I'm super perceptive. It's my hand.
To Varys and Emmy, it actually doesn't really seem to change. The people that were wandering around still seem to be wandering around. You're still running into groups of people, kids, teenagers. However, Jimmy and Caligari, you're starting to notice something. The people that are wandering around this area, there's still, again, groups of teenagers and stuff, like I said to the other two. However, you're starting to notice every once in a while a lone person wandering, which wouldn't necessarily stick out as unusual to you. However, you do notice that like the 1 or 2 people that you saw have a cross around their necks, which does.
Occult roll. Can I check out what it is?
Yeah, I'm gonna have you guys roll in a second here.
Sorry, I love
It's
you.
no, it's hanging around their necks, and right to eye, it just looks like a normal cross. However, I would like you to make Jimmy as well. However, Jimmy, I'm gonna give you a +1 for you being part of the Ordo Dracul onto this roll. A intelligence plus occult check.
I actually do okay with this one. Watch
Do,
me
do you
roll
get
nothing.
bonuses because of your encyclopedic knowledge?
It
Yeah,
wouldn't
could
be
I?
like necessarily like just intelligence. This is purely from occult due to it being a what do you call it? Nika, you get it. Jimmy, you do
Hey!
not. Did
Oh,
you have
one
it?
works.
You had nothing in occult, Jimmy?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
I rolled
I have lots in a cult.
six.
I have the most, I think, of everyone.
1 out of 6.
Hey,
That's
you
not
did it.
great, but I got it.
So you notice, Jimmy notices this crosses and that wasn't happening before. However, Nika, the crosses have just, it catches your eye. Just one person got a little closer than the others, and the cross doesn't look normal. In the center of the cross, you pick up a small little skull. And because you have been, you are a bookworm, once you became part of Vampire Society, you tried to learn as much as you could about as much of the politics and the occult as you possibly could. You know that is a typical marking for someone part of the Organization Lancia Sanctum. One of the...
Say it again.
Lancia Sanctum. Lancea.
A
Yep,
sanctum.
correct.
Can
Which
you
is one
tell
of...
me a little bit about
Yep. So what you
them
know,
because I don't actually know Nika doesn't.
yep. No, what you know is what Caligari knows is they're one of the 5 organizations, or one of the 5, sorry, covenants or whatever you want to call it, of Kindred Society. There's the Invictus, there's Ordo Dracul, there's Lancia Sanctum, and then there are 2 others, Carthians and one more, which I can't think of. What you know of the Lancia Sanctum is that they are a weird vampiric offshoot of Christianity. And they've weirdly twisted the beliefs of Christianity and the
that's like
origins.
Traditional vampire almost in
Kind
a
of.
certain way.
You don't know too much about the details of them outside of the fact that they typically, you can find them a lot in churches, and their beliefs line up relatively with Christianity, just a bit more twisted. But you don't know like their origins or why they are the way they are. You just
Do I know who they hate?
You know that they have a weird, bizarre hatred of. There is a God. I can't think of the name of it. Let me get that for you right now. No, that's fine. I got
have
you.
foreign politics, so this is like my fucking jam. Like I am at home right now.
That is true.
Read my
Actually, roll me a intelligence plus politics check and
Sure.
see if you know
my
exactly
heavens,
who they
that's
hate.
8. So
Roll it. Zero successes. That's fine.
I'm distracted.
You know that they probably don't get along with a few people. You're just not entirely sure who. You know they
Yeah.
exist. You know their basic kind of belief systems, but specific information you don't know. But you catch it, and that
It's the
that
longest
sticks
I've
out
been
to you.
out of my like alleyways, and so I'm getting uncomfortable. So I'm like, oh, it's that guy. I really need to like get down to the books
Right, exactly.
and like refresh on that because in the moment I am out of my element.
So you have that knowledge. Do you say anything? Do you inform the others? You
Yes.
likely, yeah. Go right ahead.
Yes. So I saw Emmy do some weird occult shit. So I know that she's more or less in the witchy category. So I kind of like motion to her. Well, I take the arm and then I wiggle it in her face, and I say, and I give it like a "come here" for a second thing.
Emmy's like kind of pouting and kind of upset, so that's probably why she didn't notice all this stuff. And so she's just like kind of annoyed.
And
Ignore it.
I
Ignore it.
lean in and I kind of bend over, like looming over your shoulder as we walk. Other like hand over here as well. It's real cute. And I'm just like, there's a lot of, or sorry, where's my voice? There's a lot of Lycia sanctum here. Do you know about them?
I'm gonna roll. Do I need to roll to know that stuff, or?
Yep, I want to
know.
just basically get you an idea of who they are.
'Cause she
If
knows
you
a
want,
little bit, right?
give me an intelligence plus occult to see what you know about their beliefs, and then an intelligence plus politics to know maybe what they feel about the other covenants.
Okay, so I have.
I can't believe we're able to 0 on an 8.
That's how it goes.
I have
This is
one
what
for
I live
that,
Okay.
and then the other's politics. She's more witty than intelligent, but
That's cool.
This is just to recall what you remember.
one.
All right. So
You know
with,
more than I do.
with the occult, you kind of have the same base knowledge that Caligari has. Where they stem from, their beliefs and whatnot. However, you do know politically, they kind of they're a little weird with most covenants, but specifically with the Circle of the Crone, they hate the Circle of the Crone. They see them as full of heretics and witches, and worse, basically. They don't like them. They obviously deal with them when politically necessary, but you know that they pretty much despise the Circle of the Crone. And the other 4, well, yeah, you at least know that they probably get along with them to some degree.
So Emmy explains all the other stuff that you already probably know, and then towards the end of it, she's like,
Yeah, and they kind of hate those Circle of Crone people. I don't know. You know, drama.
and then she just keeps walking.
I get excited about this because I like political vampire drama because that's my
Them
stories.
drums.
You know, like I stay home and like read up on whatever shit happens. I'm that kind of guy. But I'm like, okay. And I think that we're pretty much safe, so I'm not going to actually say anything else.
Were you
like,
saying
I
that
don't-
enough so that Jimmy and Varys could hear you, or no?
No,
Okay.
it's up to her. Like I I talked to the one person who might know more than I did because, yeah, like I have no interest in identifying anyone else. If they're part of a clan, then that's or cult or whatever it is.
Covenant.
Covenant. I
You're
should know
also
that.
part of a covenant.
Nope.
Huh?
No. The only person part
No.
of a covenant is Jimmy.
Oh.
Is
Oh,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Wait, Jimmy is?
Just Jimmy.
Jimmy hasn't said anything, so you don't know. But
Yeah,
out of game.
exactly. Like I don't know what everyone else is, so there's no reason for me to tell everyone. But I'm also just like, okay, we're in decent company, and they're not giving me any trouble. And I just wanted to know like a little bit about what she knew. So I'm going with that.
Cool.
Emmy, do you keep this information to yourself as well?
I don't say anything else other than answering her because she's
Cool.
like, Emmy is like upset because at first, like, you know, Caligari got her upset, and then she's thinking about all these things that are really upsetting, and her emotions are a little bit, you know, heightened at the moment.
Sure.
And so she's just thinking about that, and then she answered the question and just kind of went with it nonchalantly, you know.
Cool. No problem. So the four of you continue walking. Do you plan on just going like to the front of the church and heading indoors and inside and seeing what's going on?
I do not.
Okay. What's your
I'm
plan?
going to case the place as usual. You know.
Sure. What's the plan for the four of you when you do get close enough to this church where you have to make some sort of decision? Front dooring it for the three of you, or are you gonna wait for Caligari to case it? You guys gonna split up and try and see some other things?
When we get to the front door, because I'm not aware of anything that they just said.
Correct.
I'm kind of like standing at the bottom of the church stairs because, you know, it's always like a step up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like looking at those large, heavy doors, like probably like they're much heavier than you know they really are. I'm just like staring at those doors for, I don't know, until somebody breaks my concentration or whatever.
So Caligari goes off. She sneaks off. She says, I'm going to case this place. Does her thing. Varys, Jimmy, and Amelia are standing in front of the church doors and kind of staring them down. Varys doesn't say anything. Do you seem uneasy, Varys, or are you just kind of just waiting?
I'm very uneasy.
Okay.
But again, I suppose you said Emmy already walked off or whatever.
Caligari
I guess,
walked off.
Oh, sorry, Caligari already walked off. I guess with the removal of her stench, that would kind of snap him
Rude.
out of where he was, and he's just gonna start like making his way heavily up the stairs to the church.
Okay. Jimmy and Amelia, do you follow in tow? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
We're just
I
gonna
mean,
go in.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I'm not going to speak for you, Jimmy. You do you, Jimmy.
Jimmy, I want you to make me another wits plus composure, but this time at a +2.
Okay. Three successes.
You, as you're walking up, something catches your eye. Varys walked up, really kind of waited for a while. Emily followed in tow. Maybe they're just distracted, but something ticks for you. You see on the side of the railing this, what do you call them? Rosary beads. Kind of hang on the side of the railing of the stairs. And again, it wouldn't matter to you. However, you are actually able to check and see the cross, and it very clearly has something crudely kind of like carved into the center of it, which would be a skull. You notice this, and you know what that symbol is, because the Ordo Dracul specifically believes that the Lancia Sanctum is relatively stuck in their ways. Where the Ordo Dracul is looking to improve vampire kind through their own religion, the Lancia Sanctum seems to be more stuck in order than improving. They want like a very strict order of power and organization rather than moving forward and improving vampire kind. What you know outside of that, not much, but you see this is dangling over the railing as you walk up.
Emmy, Varys.
She stops and looks back at you. What's wrong?
This is not people territory. It's vampire territory.
Well, good thing we're not people, and we're vampires.
I mean, we should just know that we're not walking into nothing here. We may want to let Caligari do her thing. You know, give this a second so we can be better prepared.
Okay.
All right. And we'll pick up with this after the next break. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.